Life is a pendulum swinging between suffering and boredom. So wrote Arthur Schopenhauer, the man his contemporaries called the darkest philosopher of Europe. While his 19th century colleagues believed in reason, in progress, in a bright future, he insisted, life has nowhere to progress. It is born from suffering itself. And yet, this bleakest of philosophers gave us one of the most humane answers to the question, where does morality come from? Think about it. You're walking home at night. On the roadside lies a man you despise. Unpleasant, filthy, his own fault. Suddenly, he starts choking. You don't build universal laws, you don't calculate utility. You're already dialing 911 right here, in this crack between another's pain and your reaction. Morality is born. Schopenhauer put it bluntly. Compassion is the only true moral motivation. This sounds nothing like duty, rights, or the good. It instantly provokes resistance. Perfect. That means we're in the right place. If these kinds of conversations matter to you, support this video with a like. It's not just feeding the algorithm, it's helping these ideas not get lost in the flood. Schopenhauer began as a lecturer in Berlin, but he despised academic bustle and deliberately scheduled his lectures at the same time as Hegel's. To compete predictably, he lost. Students flocked to the dazzling Hegel, not the gloomy loner with sarcasm in his eyes. This isolation hardened him further. He wrote books almost nobody read, yet remained certain. My time will come. And it did. His ideas later influenced Nietzsche, Wagner, Freud. The central thesis of his philosophy, the world is my representation. Not a poetic aphorism, but a claim about the structure of experience. We never encounter the thing in itself, only phenomena, shaped by the forms of our cognition. Following Kant, Schopenhauer accepts space, time, and causality are the modes by which consciousness organizes the data stream. He calls this the principle of sufficient reason. Every phenomenon is given as something in space and time, for a reason. But here comes his bold turn. For Kant, the thing in itself is strictly unknowable. Schopenhauer replies, we know it from within, as will. Outwardly, I am a body in a world of causes. Inwardly, I am desire, drive, striving, for which no why is asked. Will is not strength of character. It is the metaphysical ground of appearances. The world is will and representation. The phenomenal world is like a movie. Its plot, causes, and effects runs on the reel of space and time. But the projector itself is will. The light beam is will. If the film says, why did the hero go there? The will answers, because he wanted to. Period. Metaphysical will. The will is blind, insatiable, endless. It makes stones fall, plants sprout, animals mate, humans conquer, and buy. It has no meaning, no final goal, no progress. It is pure striving, without reason, without end. The psychology of desire. The will knows no limit. Human life, he wrote, swings between suffering and boredom. When desire is unfulfilled, we suffer. When it is fulfilled, boredom follows. That's why happiness always slips away. Example, the big goal is achieved. And within a week, emptiness sets in. A new goal must be found. This is not a bug in the system. It is the system. Schopenhauer sneered, a happy life is impossible. The best fate is a tolerable one. Question for you. Remember a moment when your main goal was finally reached, and within a week, you were already chasing another. What was it? Write one word in the comments. It matters for the next block. If the blind will rules the world, why are we capable of goodness at all? Where does an act come from that goes against my own interest? Schopenhauer answers, in the moment of compassion, the principle of individuation cracks. The barrier that makes me this body here and now. Here, Schopenhauer defies the entire Western tradition. Compassion is the only true moral motivation, not pity from above, but co-suffering, the direct experience. His pain is my pain. For a moment, the wall dissolves and will ceases to be mine. It shows itself as the same ground flowing through all living beings. This is not duty, not calculation, not divine command. It is an electric shock. We act because we cannot do otherwise. Let's break down who he is arguing with against Kant. For Kant, morality begins with law. Act only according to that maxim, whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law, abstraction, a map, a schema. But when a man next to you is choking, you don't formulate a maxim, you act. Schopenhauer insists not law, but pain opens the way to morality. Against religion. Morality based on divine command lasts only as long as faith in the commander. But if the heavenly voice falls silent, Schopenhauer claims the source lies deeper in the immediate experience of suffering, accessible to everyone. Against utilitarianism. Bentham and Mill taught, maximize the sum of happiness. But Schopenhauer counters, one genuine pain outweighs myriad pleasures. No abstract arithmetic can justify the concrete suffering before our eyes. Conclusion. For Schopenhauer, morality is not calculation, not law, not commandment. It is the breakthrough of pain across the boundaries of the individual. If you agree or are outraged, write in the comments. Whose side are you on, Kant's or Schopenhauer's? We usually speak of compassion as a virtue, but Schopenhauer is honest. Compassion has a terrifying, destructive side. Modernity offers simulations, a like under a tragic headline, a Netflix drama. You cry, then turn it off. A coffee cup reading part of proceeds to charity. Safe emotions, not compassion, but fetishes of compassion. Real compassion is dangerous. It doesn't ask who is in front of me. It demands time, money, risk. It can tear myself apart. Genuine compassion shatters the ego. It doesn't ask if I like this person, if we share views, if he voted wrong. It pulls me in with time, money, reputation, risk. That's why we flee from it. Schopenhauer is severe. Every act of compassion is a small death of the self. And yes, there are side effects, burnout, vulnerability. I let them too close. But he would say, this is the price of real morality. Every act of compassion is a partial denial of the individual will, he wrote, and that sounds almost like death. Compassion is not a virtue for a checklist. It is the tragic price we pay for being human. Schopenhauer was the first European philosopher to take India seriously. In the Upanishads, he found not exoticism, but a mirror of his own thought. He wrote, "This is the most elevating reading on earth. It will console and calm a man's life, provided he can rise above narrow limits." What exactly did he see? In Indian Maya, the veil of illusion hiding truth, he recognized his world as representation. In Buddhist karuna, compassion, he found confirmation of his ethics. In the idea of nirvana, not death, but the extinguishing of craving, he saw the philosophical equivalent of his weakening of the will. For 19th century Europe, this was radical. The East was viewed as mysticism. He saw philosophical allies. Schopenhauer saw man as a prisoner. We do not choose birth. We do not choose the mechanism of desire. We are thrown into the world by a blind force that drives us to live, to want, to suffer. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. This is the slavery of the will. We are driven like a horse by the whip. Our triumphs and defeats are but variations of the same striving that never satisfies. Can we break free from this circle? Schopenhauer proposed 3 respites, aesthetics. In the contemplation of art, we cease to desire, especially in music. Music is the direct copy of the will itself. It speaks not of objects, but with the very structure of striving and rest. In music, we hear the fabric of being, and for a moment, are released from its pressure, compassion. As we've said, the wall between me and the other cracks. Individual will weakens, giving way to the universal. Every act of compassion is a small death of ego, asceticism, the voluntary limitation of desire, not out of hatred for life, but from the knowledge. Every impulse of I want leads to new suffering. None of these paths makes life happy, but they grant pauses, interludes, cracks in slavery. And in those cracks, man first tastes freedom. Why does this matter to us? We live in a culture where emotions are monetized. Signs of goodness have become interfaces. A like, a repost, a hashtag of sympathy. Not evil, but not morality either. Background noise, not the core. Schopenhauer would say harshly, "Do you really believe you've become good because you swiped a finger on a screen?" Morality begins where it is dirty, awkward, frightening, where another's pain demands not emotion, but action. If you agree, subscribe to the channel. We examine philosophy, so it interferes with life, not decorates it. Schopenhauer does not promise harmony. He does not sell meaning, progress, or self-realization. His philosophy sounds like a sentence. The world is will. Life is suffering. And yet, from this darkness, he pulls a single candle: compassion. Dangerous, tragic, destructive to the ego, and therefore genuine. It is the small death of the self, and the only chance for real morality. And so the question returns: what do you do with another's pain? A like, a repost, or a step that costs you something personal? If this video was meaningful to you, support it with a like and subscribe. We'll keep exploring philosophy so that it touches you here and now,